Hey, Damien, how are you, mate?
Good, thanks.
And one thing I'll just ask, unless you're asking a question, of course, please pop your microphone on mute, just so it doesn't play up too much over the sound. All right. But obviously, if you're going to ask a question, pop the microphone on and shoot away. All right. Let's get underway. Good evening again to everyone on Instagram if you've just joined. I'll share my screen briefly so we can go over a quick outline. Cool. So tonight, as mentioned, we are talking vitamins, okay? Speaking about the main two subcategories of vitamins, just quickly, what the difference is between water and fat-soluble vitamins. And then we'll mainly be focusing on how to get more in your diet and the food sources of these vitamins, okay? And that'll lead us on to speaking about multivitamins or vitamin supplements and if we actually need them, okay? But that's, of course, contextually dependent, okay? So I will stop screen sharing. I think one more person's just joined. We'll let them in. Good evening, Ruby. Thanks for joining. Cool. So let's start quickly talking about what vitamins actually are, okay? Feel free to pop it in the chat or pop your microphone on. What do we think vitamins are? What do we think they actually do for our bodies? Why do we need them? Pop it in the chat. You're welcome to pop your microphone on for now to answer. Completely up to you. Anybody know what vitamins are, what they do for us? Meg's saying assist the body with bodily functions. Spot on. Definitely. Beautiful. Anything else? No, that's all right. So yes, Meg, you're correct. Vitamins, unlike the macronutrients, so I'll quickly remind you what macronutrients are: protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those three, the macronutrients, give our bodies energy for us to be humans, to function, essentially. In terms of accessing that energy, as well as many other essential functions in our body, we need vitamins to help us, okay? So main three B vitamins, B1 to 3, actually help us extract the energy from proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, all right? I won't go into detail there, but yes, we need them for bodily functions as well as actually getting the energy out of the macronutrients that we're eating, okay? So as I mentioned at the start, the main two subcategories of vitamins are water-soluble vitamins. So there's your B vitamins, B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and then 9 and 12, okay? I'll mainly be focusing on B1 to 3 and then 9 and 12, as well as at C, or vitamin C, which many of you will be familiar with. And then there's also the fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, and K, all right? I'll mainly be speaking about vitamin A and D, all right? Like I said, we're going to start with vitamin B1 to B3, all right? I'm going to use carbohydrate as an example. You eat a slice of bread, we swallow the carbohydrate, it goes down to our stomach, all right? The digestive system does all its cool stuff. Once the carbohydrates are absorbed and we want to use them for energy, to actually get the energy out of the carbohydrate in this example, vitamins B1 to 3, as well as some other B vitamins as well, actually work to help pull that energy out of the carbohydrates, okay? So you may see on vitamin B supplements, you may see in Barocca that these vitamins give you energy. That's half correct because it helps you to access that energy, but B vitamins don't actually give you the energy, if that makes sense, okay? I won't go into much more detail there. I don't want to bore you, all right? But just quickly, in regards to the first three B vitamins, vitamin B1 or thiamine, you may not know, is actually, in Australia, it's mandatory to put it in our bread making flour. So we get a little bit of vitamin B1 in our bread that we eat, okay? You can also find it in lean pork, nice lean cuts of pork. So for example, a pork medallion steak that you cook, soy milk, and like I mentioned with breads, whole grain cereals, okay? So all bread making flour will contain it, but we want to make sure we're opting for the whole grain ones to get a little bit more nutrition from them, okay? Vitamin B2, riboflavin, is mainly found in dairy, milk, and other dairy products, as well as dark green leafy veg, and mushrooms also give us some as well, all right? A reminder, these main three I'm speaking about here help us access energy in our food, all right? Vitamin B3, niacin, is another one of those. Again, mainly found in dairy, milk, and also whole grains, nuts, and seeds, okay? So we want to be able to access as much energy as possible from the food we're eating to make sure that we're consuming enough of those vitamins, okay? I'll move on now to vitamin B9 and B12, two main key vitamins. Both of them actually work together in our bodies, so they're codependent. For vitamin B9 to work, we need enough vitamin B12 and vice versa, okay? Both have key roles in making new DNA in our bodies, which is important for making new bodily cells. Your body deliberately breaks down old cells and makes new cells every single day, all right? And to do that properly or well, we need enough both vitamin B9 and vitamin B12, all right? Vitamin B9 or folate is also in Australia. It's mandatory to put it in our bread making flour. So you'll be getting some from your whole grain breads, but vitamin B9 is mainly found in dark green leafy veg. Folate, the name folate actually comes from foliage, or from which refers to plants. Okay, so if you're thinking, where can I get folate? Think dark green leafy vegetables, and beans and legumes. They're probably two of your best sources. All right. And ladies, either planning pregnancy or who are in the early stages of pregnancy, are recommended to have, you may have heard, recommended to have a little bit more folate, or quite a bit more actually, to prevent neural tube defects in their developing babies, okay? Vitamin B12, like I said, is codependent with vitamin B9, and it's mainly found, or primarily only found, in animal products, whether that be animal flesh like meats, fish, chicken, as well as eggs, yogurt, dairy. That's where you can find vitamin B12 well. So anyone following a strictly plant-based diet is highly, highly, highly recommended to supplement with it, okay? A dietitian will be able to help you do that well and properly. I'm not qualified to give that advice yet, but anyone following a strictly plant-based diet, highly recommend you supplement with vitamin B12 because plant foods do not naturally contain it, okay? You can, as well as supplementing, there's a lot of plant-based products now starting to fortify their products with vitamin B12, okay? Such as fortified almond and soy milk. That's one example, as well as some plant-based meat analogs like plant-based sausages. They're starting to add vitamin B12 in, okay? Cool. Those are the B vitamins covered, okay? Does anyone have any questions about B vitamins? Pop them in the chat, yell them out over microphone. Nope, that's all right. We'll move on to the next water-soluble vitamin, which is vitamin C. I'm sure many of you have heard of this vitamin before, okay? Now, many of you, I'm just assuming here, I apologize if I'm assuming wrongly, or it's very common for people to think that vitamin C, that popping vitamin C pills after vitamin C pills repetitively can help us prevent colds. This isn't necessarily true, okay? Having plenty of vitamin C won't stop you from getting a cold. However, there's some evidence to say that once you have a cold, that having vitamin C can help can reduce the severity and duration of the cold, okay? So the symptoms won't be as bad and you're less likely to suffer from a cold for a longer period of time, okay? Now, many of you may not know that the recommended, or the RDI for the vitamin is 45 milligrams a day, all right? To put that into perspective, I have a whole list of servings here of fruit and vegetables, which will help you exceed that target very easily, all right? So half a cup of chopped up fresh capsicum, a gold kiwi, an orange, and even half a cup of cooked broccoli are all examples of things which will help you meet your vitamin C requirements for the day. All right. The maximum amount of vitamin C that you can absorb approximately is 200 milligrams. So if you think of some common vitamin C tablets that say 500 milligrams in one of those little chewable tablets or pills, you're going to be peeing most of that out by the end of the day. All right. So toxicity is unlikely with vitamin C. So it's not going to necessarily harm you as per se, but save your money with vitamin C pills and just go and eat some fruit and vegetables. You will get more than enough vitamin C. Okay. Some of you may not know as well that vitamin C also has roles in collagen synthesis. Collagen is a type of protein which is incorporated in many tissues in our body, but chiefly in our skin, in our nails, in our hair, and there's also other types of proteins in our bones which depend on it. Vitamin C helps in the process of its production, okay, and its structure, okay. It's not just strictly linked with colds and cold severities is commonly known for, okay. Long story short, there, save your money with vitamin C pills. Eat fruit and vegetables, okay? It's another reason to eat fruit and vegetables. Any questions there before I start moving on to the fat-soluble vitamins? Pop them in the chat if you don't want to yell them out loud, or feel free to talk to me. Either way.
That collagen one, vitamin C helps produce collagen, is that right? Which is a part of shrinking your skin after you've, exercised a lot and lost a bit of weight.
So collagen has many structural roles in your body. I'll use skin, hair, nails as an example. Vitamin C is essential in the process which collagen works in to produce structure. Okay, so the structure of your skin, structure of parts of your bones, structure of your hair and your nails, as well as the formation of scar tissue as well. So for example, you cut yourself and a scar starts to form. Collagen has a role in producing structure there. Vitamin C is necessary for that to work properly or well. Does that make sense? So it's one of those things that helps out in the process. Okay, cool. We'll move on to fat-soluble vitamins now. Okay, so water-soluble vitamins, what that means is they dissolve in water. Okay, one thing actually that I forgot to mention in regards to water-soluble vitamins and eating them, a lot of them are vulnerable to cooking. Okay, by cooking, I mean heat. A lot of them are vulnerable and can just be destroyed in heat, as well as if you're, let's say, boiling. So I'm going to use the example of boiling some broccoli, okay? Some of the B vitamins in that broccoli can be destroyed by the heat, as well as leach out because they dissolve in water into that water, okay? I'm not saying to not boil your fruits and vegetables, I should say vegetables mainly, but I encourage you to employ a wide variety of cooking methods. Let's say steam your broccoli instead, or bake your potatoes instead of boiling them, just to try and save some of the vitamins, okay? Boiling is one of them. I don't want to say the worst. I don't want to say it's the worst cooking method. It's just one where the vitamins will be vulnerable to the heat as well as to leaching out into the water in itself, okay? So steaming, as an example, is an awesome method of cooking vegetables, all right? And another thing I should say is vitamin B12 can be destroyed in the microwave. So with your meats, try and cook it in methods other than the microwave. Or maybe every now and again, try reheating in a fry pan rather than in the microwave in regards to vitamin B12, okay? We'll move on to the fat-soluble vitamins now. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So the fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K, all right? As their name suggests, they dissolve in fat in your body, which means they're also mainly stored in fat in your body, okay? Now, we'll start with vitamin A. many of you may have heard that it's essential for optimal eye function, okay? We need vitamin A to be able to see well or see properly, but it also has other roles as well in your reproductive system and in your immune system as well, okay? So it's important for many different things. We can get vitamin A from our food in two main types of forms. The first one is called retinol. That's in animal products, okay? So in cheese, it's found in butter, it's found in egg yolks. Also one less common, you don't have to eat it, in liver. It's found in very high amounts in liver because we actually store quite a bit of liver in our, quite a bit of vitamin A in our own livers, okay? We also get it in the form of beta carotene, okay? Probably one of the more commonly consumed forms of vitamin A. Beta carotene can be used in our bodies to make the more active form of vitamin A, all right? We get beta carotene from dark green leafy vegetables. So two examples could be spinach and from kale, as well as any fruit and vegetables that are deep orange in color. So think sweet potato, think mango, think rock melon, think pumpkin, think carrots. All of these provide us with beta carotene, okay? Now, in saying that, to recognize beta carotene sources, look for orange, mainly orange fruit and vegetables, but the dark green leafy ones, what's interesting is that the beta carotene, which naturally produces an orange color, is masked by something in plants called chlorophyll, okay? Which plants use to make their own energy. I won't go into detail there, but if you're looking for beta carotene sources, dark green leafy veg or orange fruit and vegetables will provide you with good amounts of it, okay? Half a cup of cooked sweet potato usually ticks or gets you close to your daily requirements, okay? Move on to vitamin D now, okay? Another vitamin that many of you have likely heard of before. It's something we can actually produce in our own bodies, okay? Now, it's something that I learned today. 5 to 10 minutes of sunlight in summer, or about 2 to 3 hours of sunlight in winter months in Melbourne, should be enough for you to meet your vitamin D requirements. So without going into too much detail, sunlight or UV rays from the sun interact with pigments in our skin, and that triggers a reaction series in our bodies, which our liver and our kidneys help out with, to actually produce the active form of vitamin D. All right, so our bodies are pretty cool that we can actually make it ourselves, assuming our liver and our kidneys are functioning healthily, okay? There are small amounts found in some foods, such as fortified milk with vitamin D, as well as egg yolks and some fatty fish. They do contain small amounts of vitamin D, but we mainly get it through sunlight, okay? Now, the values that I said about sunlight usually provide us with enough. However, if you spend quite a bit of time inside, especially winter months, and even countries such as Northern Europe, even places in England where they don't get much sunlight, it's essential that we supplement with vitamin D to make sure that we're getting enough, all right? Because vitamin D is important in another reaction series in our bodies that helps us absorb calcium from our diets, okay? It also has key roles in our immune system, which we're starting to find out a lot more about. So I'll repeat, key roles in helping us absorb calcium for strong bones and teeth, as well as in our immune system, okay? So vitamin D has multiple essential roles, okay? Before I move on, any questions on vitamin A or vitamin D? Again, welcome to pop them in the chat if you don't want to yell them out loud.
I have a question about vitamin A.
Yep.
So I was doing some research about like vitamin A and retinol. So that's obviously more in like pharmaceutical, like women's anti-aging creams, yeah? Retinol?
Yes. So
Yeah.
retinol, in terms of food, the retinol form is found in animal sources mainly, right?
Oh, okay.
Cheese, butter, liver. I'm not encouraging you to eat liver if you don't want to. A little bit in egg yolks. However, retinol-like forms are found in supplements, yes.
So the plant-based version of that is the beta carotene, yeah? Is that
Carotene, spot on, perfect.
okay?
Yep. Beta carotene, I'm not going to go into too much detail scientifically. It's a two-part molecule, and awesome processes in our body split it up, and then we can use it in retinol-like forms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. No worries. All right. I won't talk too much about vitamin E and vitamin K, but I will quickly touch on them. Okay. So vitamin E is another antioxidant in our bodies. Okay. Which means it scavenges free radicals, helps to protect us against oxidation in our bodies, oxidative damage, which is caused by many different things in our day-to-day life. Okay. Vitamin E is mainly found in plant oils such as soybean oil, as well as many dark green leafy vegetables, as well as nuts and seeds like almonds. They provide you with some vitamin E as well, okay? So as I said, vitamin E provides you with antioxidative roles, as well as some evidence as well in providing you with skin health benefits, okay? So you may hear that being spoken about as well, okay? Last one I'll touch on is vitamin K, okay? It's another cool thing that our bodies can do. Gut bacteria that we have can actually produce small amounts of vitamin K for us, okay? We also get it through dark green leafy vegetables, such as cabbage, okay? And yeah, dark green leafy veg and cabbage are the main two sources, all right? Vitamin K is mainly important in our bodies for blood clotting, okay? Something else I learned recently as well. Think about whenever you accidentally cut yourself and you start bleeding. At first, we need to block the bleeding, all right? With a Band-Aid, with a bandage, whatever it may be. But eventually that bleeding slows down. That's largely due to clotting factors in our bodies, which thickens our blood and eventually stops it from bleeding, okay? If it wasn't for these clotting factors, which vitamin K helps to function normally, we could bleed out our entire bodies with a little pinprick, which is something pretty fascinating and scary that I found out recently. So vitamin K is very important, but our gut bacteria, assuming it's healthy, makes enough in combination with dark green leafy veg and cabbage-like vegetables as well. Okay. Any questions about vitamin E and vitamin K? I apologize if I rushed through them a little bit before I speak a little bit about multivitamins before we wrap up. Again, you're welcome to pop them in the chat if you don't want to yell them out loud. Nope, that's right. Last thing we'll touch on is multivitamins and vitamin supplementation. And I've spoken a little bit about it already, okay? There's nothing wrong with taking multivitamins, okay? We see ads on the TV all the time. You've probably seen them in pharmacists. You've probably seen them in Coles and Woolies. It helps some people feel like they're ticking their boxes and meeting their requirements, okay? But in summary, if you're eating a wide variety of foods from all of the food groups, that being vegetables, that being fruit, that being whole grains, that being dairy, that being lean meats and fish products, you are very, very likely ticking all of your nutritional boxes, okay? So if you're not excluding any key food groups, you're likely ticking your nutritional boxes, all right? So much of the time, assuming we haven't got deficiencies or we're not removing food groups from our diet, if you're taking multivitamins or vitamin supplements, you're likely excreting a lot of them out through your urine, okay? Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If it helps you feel like you're ticking your boxes, I'm not going to say don't take vitamin supplements, but I encourage you to focus on eating a wide variety of nutrients from a wide variety of foods in your diet first, okay? And then if you're concerned that you're not getting enough of any certain vitamins, seeing a nutritionist or a dietitian will help you to identify that and if supplementation may be necessary, okay? I'll retouch on a couple though, which may be of relevance. Anyone following a strictly plant-based diet, a vegan diet, where you're getting almost no vitamin B12 from your diets, highly, highly recommend a vitamin B12 supplement, okay? That'll ensure that you're getting enough of the crucial vitamin for making new cells in your body, as well as optimal nervous system functioning as well, okay? And then any ladies who are planning pregnancy or who are in their very early stages of pregnancy, a folate or folic acid supplement is also necessary, okay? Again, a dietitian or nutritionist will be able to help you out with determining suitable supplements and quantities that you need, okay? But long story short, I'll repeat one more time. If you are consuming a wide variety of foods from all of the food groups, you are more than likely ticking off your nutritional boxes. Save your money. You probably don't need the multivitamins or the vitamin supplements. Okay? Cool. That's everything that I wanted to cover from this evening in regards to the B vitamins, vitamin C, the fat-soluble vitamins, and supplements. So if there's any questions you'd like to ask me, again, through Zoom, if you want to pop your microphone on, or through the chat, and I'll speak out loud, go for it, please.
Yeah, Alex, I got one. Is there any evidence that people with celiac have vitamin deficiencies?
It's possible. So in celiac disease, for anyone who doesn't know, is an allergic reaction to gluten, okay? Whenever you react to gluten, there's little things in our gut called villi. Whenever the gluten interacts with those, our immune system recognizes gluten as something is dangerous. And in that signal of events can cause damage to your gut, okay? When damage is caused to the little microvilli, which are responsible for absorbing a lot of nutrients, when damage happens there, yes, you may suffer from nutrient malabsorption. You may struggle to absorb enough, okay? In terms of specific vitamins and minerals, I'm not exactly sure, but spot on. Anthony, you're right. You can suffer from nutrient malabsorption. So that's where it'd be vital if you are a celiac to get your blood checked and your urine checked. Usually your blood and urine checked, as well as other vital signs on a regular basis with your doctor and your dietitian. And they'll be able to determine whether you are suffering from any nutrient malabsorption and if you do need any specific supplementation.
All right, thanks.
No worries at all. Cool. Any other questions from anyone else regarding the vitamins? Again, pop them in the chat.
Yeah, Alex?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, just want to ask you a question because it's lots of the vitamin sales people, especially those direct sales or direct marketing. So I receive a lot of information from them or by the message, or they talk to me. They said that when people getting old, like a 35 plus, 40 plus, our body cannot absorb enough vitamins. So we need multivitamins, and we consume more nutrition and vitamins since we are getting old, and the bones, the muscles. So everybody needs to have a supplement. Is that a true concept or just a selling point?
So I wouldn't say it's just a selling point, and I wouldn't say it's entirely true. Okay. It's probably somewhere in the middle. As we age, most of our bodily systems start to very, very slowly decline. Again, entirely dependent on how healthy you are, how much physical activity you do in terms of your overall diet. Okay. But yes, overall, our functions do start to slow down. All right. One of those things, I shouldn't say one of those things, a few of those things, such as our digestive absorption, like I was just speaking about previously, as well as other organs which are responsible for processing nutrients, they do start to slow down, okay? We may be less effective at absorbing nutrients or processing nutrients. So that's where, in terms of the vitamin supplementation, it does lean towards the pro. We may start to need supplementation a bit more, but it's not entirely true. That is a selling point as well for these companies to try and make money, because the first point of call is always food. Always looking at where we can get these vitamins and minerals, which I'll be speaking about in the coming weeks, from our food in itself, okay? We may need more of certain foods as we age to make sure we're meeting our nutrient requirements, but it's not impossible to meet, it's rarely impossible to meet all of your nutritional requirements from food first, okay? That was a bit of a long-winded answer. In summary, usually a selling point from these companies, they try and scare you saying you need multivitamins as you age, but it's not entirely untrue for some people who may start to develop nutrient deficiencies and may start to need vitamins as they age. Okay? Does that answer your question, or have I been a little bit fluffy with that answer?
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
That's all right. No worries. Cool. Any other questions before we wrap it up this evening? Nope. Thank you very much to all
Thanks,
of
Alex.
you who joined. I hope you learned something this evening. Okay. As always, if you think of a question that you may not have thought of during this, AROD Nutritional is my Instagram. AROD_nutritional is my Instagram. Feel free anytime to message me. I'm more than happy to chat about nutrition. Okay. Everyone stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. Mask up, Melburnians. All right. And have a wonderful rest of your week. Okay.
Thanks, Alex.
Bye for
All
now.
right, thank